everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Big thanks to Jim Beloff for bringing us into the room with a little bit of ukulele tootling around in the background. And welcome everybody to another ukulele week here in the Daily Antidote of Song. So glad you're with us. I'm Jo Rossi. I'm the director of the Daily Antidote, and I'm so glad that you've all decided to join us today for another spectacular day. In case you're new to us, the Daily Antidote is one sing-along song every day at noon Eastern, free, available to everybody. We live stream on Facebook and on YouTube. You can come here in the Zoom room with us. And we always love meeting new people and also seeing all these beautiful smiling faces of folks that we know and other folks who are our friends and companions through the musical journey. I see we've got song leaders in the room with us today and lots of other good stuff. Thanks so much, everybody, for being here. Deep breath. Let's get started. Help me wave to everybody out there on the live stream. Hi to the folks on YouTube and hi to the folks on Facebook. We're glad you're here today. Hello, of course, to Jim Beloff, who is coming in from Connecticut and is our ukulele song leader. It's Jim's first time with us singing today, so give him a really big wave. And let's say hi to everybody in the room. I see Ariana in LA who is doing our tech today. Thank you, Ariana. And Arlene coming in California, and Trish in Victoria, Neil in Boston, Kathy in Colorado, Dorian Ollie in Rhode Island, Athena in Brooklyn, Susan in Cincinnati, Bonnie in Boise, Idaho, Luda in Victoria, British Columbia. There's Wes, one of our song leaders, Wes Waddell, coming in from Seattle. Nice to see you. And Bob in Albany. Hello. Laris in the UK. Hello. Kathleen in Albuquerque. Nice to see you today. Rick Pagliari, another one of our song leaders, coming in from Vermont. Great to see you, Rick. Benet in Berkeley, California. Sue in Seattle. Elizabeth in California. Kay in Texas. Dally in Maryland. Elise Witt, another one of our song leaders. We've got so much good company today. Elise Witt coming in from, I don't think Georgia, I think Vermont today. Fred coming in from Maryland. We got Caroline in DC, Storm in Mass, Ruth coming in from Birmingham, UK, Anne in Silver Spring, and Kevin in DC reminding me that today is day 1,663 consecutive days of singing here in the Daily Antidote of Song. So let's all give it up for that. Let's see, Linda on Orcas Island, hello, and Lynn in Connecticut, and Mo, another upcoming song leader. Mo Nelson is going to be singing with us this week for the first time also. Welcome back again, Mo, to our space. Jamie in Victoria, Carolyn in Boise, Idaho, Busy Graham, Carpe Diem Arts. Everybody give it up for Busy, and everybody give it up for Carpe Diem Arts. We have to wave our arms around a lot here. We get a lot of exercise. Mabel and a bear coming in from Cambridge, Mass. The bear is getting exercise. And Pauline and William in Newcastle, UK. Nice to see you guys. Louise coming in from Devon, UK. Bob and another bear in Massachusetts. Good to see you too. Major exercising bears. Aloysius in Mass, Gary in Mass, Kat in Vermont. There's my mom coming in from New Jersey. Hoda in British Columbia, Elizabeth in California. And let's all take another deep breath. Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to start by turning the floor over to Jim Beloff, new to us today in this room. Learned about Jim through Kathy Fink and Marcy Markser, who do a ukulele festival at Strathmore, I think every year. And Jim, I believe, has performed at that festival with them. He's not just a uke player, singer, musician, also has a songbook sort of side thing going that we're going to get to learn a little bit about in a bit. So Jim, wondering if you can tell us what the song is that you have for us today.
Sure, it's called Walk Each Other Home.
Great. So I think we were talking about maybe you'll sing the first verse a couple of times so we get to hear it and then go ahead into the song. I think we're ready. Are we ready,
Great.
gang?
All right, so here's just the first verse and then I'll do it again along with the rest of the song. From the moment of our birth, we count down our time on earth. Peaks and valleys we shall roam as we walk each other home. Okay, so that's how it starts. So we'll do the whole thing now. From the moment of our birth, we count down our time on earth. Peaks and valleys we shall roam as we walk each other home. Try to take it all in stride, step by step and side by side, steady as a metronome as we walk each other home. Days of sunshine, days of showers, we shall share them all. From the moment of our birth, we count down our time on earth. Peaks and valleys we shall roam as we walk each other home.
Thank you so much, Jim Beloff. That was so sweet and so much fun to sing. So what can
Thanks.
you tell us about it?
Well, it's based on a quote by Ram Dass, and I imagine most of you know who he was, but originally his name was Richard Alpert, and he was a colleague and a friend of Timothy Leary's back in the 60s. They were at Harvard together and had a lot to do with introducing LSD to the world. And then after that, he eventually becomes a follower of a very important guru, and sort of changes his life entirely. Takes on the name of Ram Dass, and then becomes a guru himself. And he's the one who came up with this quote about walking each other home. And during the pandemic, I came across it on a Facebook post, and I was very receptive to that line at that moment. I was, well, I mean, I think everybody was kind of, receptive to that kind of line at that particular moment. And I was also dealing with a very serious challenge. My wife had been diagnosed with a very serious ailment, and so I was caring for her, and so I absorbed that both on a micro level, and then I think that it moved me especially because I could absorb it on a macro level, and I saw it not just as something that was therapeutic for us here, but also possibly therapeutic for the world.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I can even imagine encountering that song during the pandemic. Try and take it in stride, step by step, side by side. You know, the idea that we might not have actually had anybody right by our side, and it was even more this sense of everybody else being there, and that we were all in it together, and that there was so much unknown, right? So we were taking it step by step because we had no idea, basically. And so that is a really, really neat. Thank you for sharing all of that. And sending a lot of love out to you and to your wife, and hoping that things are going well in
Thank
your
you.
world. So let's see. I think you have something else you're going to tell us about that we are very excited to get a little look-see at. You want to tell us about your other project?
Yeah, I mean, we're best known in the ukulele world as songbook publishers. So for 30 plus years, we've been publishing these songbooks under the Jump and Jim's um, brand. And in 2010, we released what is, I think, our best known book. Some of you may be familiar with it. It's called The Daily Ukulele, and it has, of course, 365 songs. And it became especially popular within the ukulele club community. So it became kind of like their songbook. And it's got all sorts of, well-known songs, everything from Beatles to famous public domain songs, on and on and on and on. But all the songs are arranged, especially in keys that are comfortable for ukulele players, and all of the chord frames are at the top of every song. And so we really customized it for ukulele players. And it was it's been extremely popular. And so we followed that up 2 years later with, it was a leap year. So we did the Daily Ukulele Leap Year edition with 366 more songs. And then a few years ago, I was talked into doing a third one. And so for the last 2.5 years, I've been trying to find and arrange 365 more songs, and that is coming out at the end of this month. It'll have a purple cover. It's called The Daily Ukulele Another Year.
So that is pretty incredible. I think, where did you say that songbook is available? Where should folks look for it? Is it on?
Oh, it's everywhere. It's in, support your local music store and ask them to get it. But it's a joint venture with us and Hal Leonard, which is a very well-known name for those of you who have songbooks. They've been the distributor and publisher of all of our songbooks going back 30 some odd years. And this is a joint venture between us and Hal Leonard. So it means it's available at every music store. It's on Amazon. And then I even have 100 copies that are signed and numbered on our website. There aren't 100 anymore, but there still are some. So if somebody wants a signed and numbered copy, go to fleamarketmusic.com.
Beautiful. Thank you, Jim. So all of those links are in the chat for you, gang, and please check it out. And as soon as I learned about Jim's songbook and the fact that we do so many special ukulele weeks here in this room, my brain said, Daily Ukulele, Daily Antidote week kind of has to be a thing, right? Like, how could we not have two folks who are running by the idea of something every day being a really core piece of how we hold ourselves together? So Jim, thank you for all the work you do in the world and all of the work you do on those songbooks, and I can't wait to see one. Do you want to share anything else about what else you've got going on, or you just kind of like took a deep breath after your uke book and you don't have anything quite up yet?
Anything that we're doing, you can find out on the Facebook page, festivals that we'll be attending and performances and things like that. Yep.
Great. Thank you. And I think you said you have a second song for us, but it is a different song. Is that right?
It is. Yeah. This one is really new, and it's going to be on an album that hopefully will come out sometime early next year. And this in some ways is maybe the flip side of, I was thinking of that first one I played, but anyway, here it goes.
Well, is there a part of it that you can teach us before you start?
Yeah. Well, sure. I can do the same thing. I'll just sing the first verse and then I'll do it again and do the whole song. How's that?
I think that sounds great, but can you also show us the instrument? I think it's
yeah. Hang on. Here we go. And this, by the way, yes, this is, if any of you are familiar with this odd-shaped musical instrument, it is in fact a ukulele, and it's made by my family in Sheffield, Massachusetts, and it's called a fluke. And so if you're ever traveling on Route 7 up through the Berkshires, stop and say hello, and you can see where these are made.
That's awesome.
Okay, so here we go. And this is called Have a Little Faith. I'll just do the first verse. How many times have I given up too soon? How many times have I burst my own balloon? How many times did it all turn out okay? A lesson I must relearn every day. I say to myself, when you gonna get a clue? Are you of so little faith? Have a little faith in you. All right, so that's the tune. And here we go, song proper. How many times have I given up too soon? How many times have I burst my own balloon? How many times did it all turn out okay? A lesson I must relearn every day. I say to myself, when you gonna get a clue? Are you of so little faith? Have a little faith in you. How many times have I second-guessed my heart? How many times have I stopped before I start? How many times did somebody come through? And then I give myself another talking to. I say to myself, when you gonna get a clue? Are you of so little faith? Have a little faith in you. How long must I live in doubt? Some way, someday, I need to work this out. How many times have I stared up at the sky in anger and pain and repeatedly asked why? How many times was I answered with a sign? When will I learn to trust in the divine? I say to myself, when you gonna get a clue? Are you of so little faith? Have a little faith in you. Are you of so little faith? Have a little faith in you.
Thank you so much, Jim.
Thank you.
Much needed message there. And it actually corresponds really nicely with what Suniva was singing to us yesterday also, right? About, about the self and the importance of taking care of the self and believing in the self. And so, Jim, thank you so much. I think you picked a really good song. I saw so much emotion on everybody's face again. Like, we all need that reminder not to be too hard on ourselves and not to mistrust ourselves. And who doesn't need that kind of, 3 times a day some days, so or 20 depending on the day. Thank you so much, Jim. Can we all please thank Jim Beloff for a great ride today here in the Daily? And Jim, do you have anything else you want to say before we close?
Just a really big thank you. I'm so happy to have been introduced to you, Joe. What a great idea this was that you came up with. And yes, and we share daily in a daily connection. And so I'm just so thrilled to know about this community and this concept, and thank each and every one of you who tuned in today to join me.
Thank you so much, Jim. So I don't know about how you came up with your daily thing, but it reminded me of it when you started talking about like that way that we were when we were first in the pandemic and how we heard things differently and experienced things differently. And I know that when we started this program, we figured we were going to go for a week or two, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, however long the pandemic lasted, right? And so here we are, day 16, 60, whatever it is, and the world is still turning, but it's still very confused. And there's a lot of reasons to still come in this space every day and sing. And isolation isn't actually only about just being home because there's a pandemic. It actually turns out it has a lot of meanings, and a lot of us know that.
Yeah, and also don't forget that daily is one of the few words that rhymes with ukulele.
There you go. All right. Okay. So yeah, daily antidote, daily ukulele songbook. Yeah. Okay. I'm hearing it. I'm hearing it. I think that's good. I do also want to remind everybody, of course, that we are in a ukulele week this week, but next week and the week after, we will be in voting weeks. So we'll be singing voting songs, and it will be because the ever-present need to vote will be rapidly approaching as November 5th is Election Day. So please make sure you are doing whatever you can come up with to do in your own zone to help with getting the vote out, etc. I'm going to take a quick pause here to remind everybody that we are, in fact, in Ukulele Week, and the ukulele that is pictured here on this screen is the ukulele that we will be auctioning off in November. It is signed by 40 some odd people, some folks that have been in this room before, Pat Humphreys and Sandy Apatow, some folks that haven't been in the room yet, like Molly Tuttle, and we think we found Vance Gilbert's signature on it, and lots of other folks. So keep your ears open and spread the word to all the folks you know who are instrument collectors, because the auctioning of that ukulele is 100% about raising funds to keep this daily antidote going. And we're grateful to Mary Sue Tui and SiriusXM The Village for donating that ukulele to us. And we're going to try to make the biggest splash we can and have it be a really successful fundraiser. So thanks, folks, for listening to me yammering about funds yet again. And let's all give another big thank you to Jim Beloff. Great to have you in here, Jim, and we hope it won't be too long before we sing with you again.
Wonderful. Thanks, Joe.
So thanks everybody in this room. Thanks everybody out there on the live stream. Can you guys all please help me wave to everybody on Facebook? Thanks gang for joining us, and the folks out there on YouTube. For you all out there, the links are all in the chat also. And feel free to come and join us anytime in this Zoom room. Ariana, thank you so much for coming in from LA today to run the tech for us. Super appreciate your being here. Let's say goodbye to the folks in the room. Thank you, Arlene in Berkeley, Trish in Victoria. Thanks, Neil in Boston, and Kathy in Colorado. Dory and Ollie in Rhode Island. Thank you. Ruth in Birmingham, UK. Thank you. Athena in Brooklyn. Thank you. And thanks for reminding me that it's day 1663 consecutive days of singing. You need a whole breath just to say that. Susan in Cincinnati, thank you so much for being here. Nice to see your smile. Bonnie in Boise, Idaho, thank you. Luda in Victoria. Wes Waddell coming in from Seattle. We're hoping we're going to sing with you soon, and also hope to be hosted by you soon. Bob in Albany, thank you so much. Laris in the UK. Kathleen in Albuquerque. Benet in Berkeley. Sue in Seattle. Mo coming in from Maryland and singing with us this week for the first time. So please make sure you're back. I think it's Friday that Mo is singing. Great. And Kevin in DC, thank you so much for being with us with your magical flute. Carolyn in Boise, Idaho, thank you. Pauline and William in Newcastle, UK, thank you. Hoda in British Columbia. Deborah in Kentucky. Gary in Massachusetts. Cricket in Maryland. Who's on page 2? Fred in Silver Spring. Rick Pilleri coming in from Vermont. Also hope to sing with you very soon. Mabel and a bear in Massachusetts. Still doing calisthenics. Caroline in DC. Linda on Orcas Island. Deli in Maryland. Storm in Mass. Jamie in Victoria, British Columbia. Ann in Silver Spring. Kay in Texas. Jane in Texas also. Lynn in Connecticut. Louise in Devon, UK. Bob and a bear in Mass. Kat in Vermont. Mommy in New Jersey. Elizabeth in California. Nancy in Washington State. Oh, look, there's an actual live curly top on the screen. Willard coming in from Vermont. and Aloysius in Massachusetts. Thanks again, gang, for joining us. Please meet us here again tomorrow.